Hi, good night, everyone, and welcome to Prophetic Time. I am Apostle Dr. J. Caprietta. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And go ahead, like, share, comment, and I'll be right back. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome again to Prophetic Time. I am your host, Apostle Dr. J. Caprietta. Thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful night. and I want to just jump into it in a little bit here, but I want to just welcome our um, first, second, and third folks that jumped on here. If you're in here, just comment. And we're going to go with the first to comment because we've got a few people on here tonight. And we got Debbie, who came on here first, commented, and Shane second. Blessings, Debbie. Blessings, Shane. And then Shelly, blessings to you as well. And good to see you guys on here tonight. And who's on YouTube? Let's see you comment on YouTube as well. Um, yeah, it's hey Bonnie, blessings to you on YouTube over there. Hey KT, blessings, and Karen Reed, blessings to you. Who else is on here tonight? Go ahead and say hi. Get some people in here. Remember to like, share, and comment. Blessings, Sabrina out there in North Carolina. Um, all right. Okay, so um, wanted to talk about a few different things here tonight, and because there's a lot, of course, a lot going on, and I'm going to cover quite a bit tonight. Um, Let me see where should I start. Let's see here. Where should I start? One second. All right. Here we go. Here we go. I don't know if some of y'all are paying attention to what's going on in Wisconsin. One of my older boys actually is out there with TPUSA, and he's been door knocking, um, which is just really amazing experience. And he has a lot of stories, of course, talking about some of the people, the wild people that he met. Hey, Artie on YouTube and Joanne as well. Blessings to you guys. Um, so yeah, he's got quite a bit of stories of people that he met, while door knocking, and is having an awesome time out there. And anyway, so tonight I'm honored to have you join us. As we go into some of the latest developments that is, shaping our nation, and from Washington, to the innovations that's emerging in Silicon Valley, and I want to explore some of these events that's taking place right now. So, um, what do we have here? Let's see here. So, let's see. So, the Wisconsin Supreme Court election is scheduled for today, April the 1st. And, this election actually holds a very significant importance for conservatives all across America, um, particularly with Brad Schimel as the candidate. Um, there's a lot of, legal and political, I would say, implications. And I'm going to talk a little bit about a prophetic side of things with regards to this as well. So, what this whole election is all about, number one, is restoring judicial balance. Chamel's potential victory tonight is seen as a I would say as a beacon for returning to foundational constitutional principles. Um, you know, this is a turning point, I believe. And no pun intended, but it is a turning point in our nation. It's a turning point. And because what this means also is that we will have someone who will defend traditional values. And I would say that the outcome of tonight um, will have a broad cultural shift, basically, that will reaffirm our conservative values that we hold in our nation. So let me go into a little bit more in depth into this whole thing here. So the Wisconsin Supreme Court decisions, it sets a major precedent that will influence federal cases. And this race could affect everything from election integrity to Second Amendment rights and religious freedoms. Liberals currently hold a 4-3 majority on the court. And if Schimel wins, it flips to 4-3 conservative, which will restore the balance that we need. Schimel winning is very important because it is the safeguarding of election integrity. That's what's going to happen. Wisconsin, just to go in depth on this, Wisconsin was ground zero in 2020 for concerns over ballot harvesting, drop boxes, and voter irregularities. A conservative court can ensure laws are upheld, not rewritten by progressive agendas. Brad Schimel has a track record of protecting the rule of law as a former attorney general. And that, my friends, is the constitutional law we're talking about, which is a great thing. So with Schimel winning, this would be blocking the left's aggressive legal agenda. So liberals are already using the court to push abortion on demand, radical gender policies, and they also have an attack on parental rights. And so these are some of the, I would say, some of the very strong um, reasons why we need Shamel to win this race. And so this race can stop the court from becoming a rubber stamp for progressive liberal legislation that can't pass anything democratically. Also, the next point is national Democrats are pouring in money. So this is not just a Wisconsin race. Left-wing groups across the country are funneling millions into this election to try and institutionalize progressive rulings through the courts. And so conservatives must mobilize nationally, or we risk losing a key battleground state. And that's why I shared with you guys earlier that my son even went out there on the ground, knocking door to door to basically get people out there to vote for Shamel. So Brad Shamel is proven, and he's principled. He's a constitutionalist, which is unusual, and he's a protector of conservative values, and someone who wouldn't legislate from the bench. His experience as a judge and an attorney general proves he'll stand firm under pressure, not like some of the rhinos that we've seen. And so this race will actually set the tone for the 2026 governor's race and potentially influence the 2024 presidential election dynamics. So if conservatives show strength here, it'll energize the base nationally and show that the movement is alive and well. So I just got I got a text message earlier from Ed, and it says here that breaking in a huge victory for election integrity, Wisconsin issue 1 has passed. This adds a critical voter ID requirement to the state constitution, which means, folks, that this cannot be easily overturned or changed as a new president comes in. This was done through the courts. All right, so it's a long-term law that has just been put in, and so this amendment, it's a huge victory for election integrity, and it's I believe it's going to happen across the United States because this is going to kind of set a precedent across the United States as to how we handle elections. So I would, some of the biblical significance that I see here, if you look at Proverbs 11, chapter 1, it states, a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. So, with us having honest, fair election will align with biblical principles of justice and righteousness. And prophetically, the move to solidify voter ID requirements may also signify a social shift towards upholding truth and integrity in our land, which is foundational for our national blessings and also stability within our nation. So some of y'all are seeing that Brad is losing. Interesting. The race is not over. What I see here is that they have run out of ballots in areas of Milwaukee, and voters are still waiting to vote on the Supreme Court election. There's a huge turnout. So, let's keep an eye on it and see what happens. Now, secondly, there, as we, okay, I'll keep an eye on that. All right. Secondly, Elon Musk had some allegations today against the U.S. Institute for of Peace. Um, so I don't know if y'all saw this, but um, the USIP, which is the Institution of Peace, they apparently deleted a terabyte of financial data to conceal some alleged misconduct. Uh, basically stealing money. That's basically what it is. And so they deleted a terabyte of data, and Elon Musk kind of made fun of them because he said they obviously don't understand how technology works, because they were able to uncover all of the data that was removed from the servers. And so uh, we need a transparency and we need accountability within our government, within all the government funded organizations. And what they didn't want was any oversight into where the funds was going. But of course, Doge is all about transparency and accountability as to where the funds are going within the government, because they're taxpayer funds. And so Luke 8:17 says, "For nothing is hidden that will not be made manifest, nor is anything secret that will not come to light." So the exposure of these alleged actions aligns with biblical principle that truth will ultimately prevail. And so I believe that this will signify a period where a lot of concealed injustices will be brought to light, brought to the forefront, which would, push our nation to return to principles of righteousness and integrity. It will actually force the hands of government who are caught up in all kinds of fraudulent actions to think twice before they do anything like that again. Another thing is Elon Musk is also looking into how it is that some of these elected officials are making a $200,000 salary, but yet still they have a net worth of $20+ million. So he's looking into how is that possible? If you started off and had nothing, and then you've been doing was working in the government, and when you work in the government, you have to divest from any business portfolios that you have, and so how is it that they're making money, more money than their salary, in the while working for the government for the last 20+ years? Um, so he's looking into all of that. So President Donald Trump continues to implement policies as well that resonates with conservative principles and focusing on national sovereignty, economic prosperity, and also the protection of constitutional rights. There was something called Liberation Day tariffs, which is the introduction of new tariffs aimed to reduce reliance on foreign goods and also to bolster the American industries. While some people are, expressing some concerns over, potential economic repercussions, uh, many people are arguing that these measures are very necessary to achieve true economic independence and protect American workers. Basically, we're bringing jobs back home, and Americans are going to be a lot more wealthier in the long run, and that's basically what that is saying. And so um, Nehemiah, we've been in the Nehemiah project series, and I don't know if y'all remember Nehemiah chapter 2 verses 17. It shows the importance of rebuilding and restoring, and that's what President Trump is doing. He's rebuilding and restoring. It says, "Come, let us rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, and we will no longer be in disgrace." And so he's rebuilding so that we will no longer be in disgrace like we were from 2020 to 2024. And um, so this administration is, its focus is on strengthening national borders and industries, just like Nehemiah and his efforts to restore Jerusalem's walls, which is symbolic and of a protective measure to preserve the nation's integrity and the honor of being, the best country in the entire world. So prophetically, also, this may also indicate a divine mandate to fortify the nation against external influences that seek to destroy our foundations. And we have some Marxist people in America that are in government, and they're here to undermine us and to erode the foundations, the fabric of our nation, to get rid of some of the traditional and conservative values that we hold. And so God is using President Trump greatly to restore a lot of things in our nation. And I believe that he's doing a great job so far. I don't know about you, but I believe he is. And so, um, all right. So, wanted to just take this time to, kind of just talk with you guys a little bit. And see what's on your mind as well, and see if you got any questions for me about anything that's happening. Um, but hello, yes, hello everybody. Who did I just see here? So Crawford just won. Okay. Goodness. Okay. Yeah, it's showing that Crawford has 840,000 votes and Shamel has 670,000 votes. Goodness. Goodness. Okay. All right. What do I think that Trump meant when he said Christians won't have ever to vote again? Um, I believe he's planning on fixing the elections because he knows some of the. Okay, to put it this way, President Trump knows very clearly from all of the data and the information that they have, all of the secret information, the data that has been hidden, that there are more conservatives in voters in the United States of America, in every major city, in every county or whatever you might, basically there are more conservative voters in this nation than there are liberals or Democrats. And I believe that that's basically what he means. The problem in America has been that the liberals, because they are the ones that are running the government, right? They are the deep state people. They're the ones that are in the voting booths. They are the ones that are working in the mayor's office. They're the ones that are the technicians or the IT staff. They're the guys that are in the kitchen. These liberals, they are the ones that are behind a desk in some government office. Many of the liberals are working in government positions, and they're the ones that are basically running, I would say, voter fraud operations all across the country. I believe that that is the reason why President Trump said that, is because he is fixing all of that, and that's why he gave 2 million uh, people the opportunity to resign within the government, within DC, because he's removing them. He's removing all of these deep state operatives. And they're not just in DC; they're all over the country. In Kentucky, for example, we have a liberal governor with a conservative, uh, uh, um, what do you call him? What's the second in command? The deputy, I believe, is the deputy governor. What do you call them? Forgive me, it's slipping my mind. But the second in command is a conservative. So the question is, people were saying, how is it that they voted for a liberal governor, but the second guy in command is a conservative? It doesn't make any sense, right? And when you look at the down ballot, many of the people voted for conservatives down the entire ballot, except for the governor of Kentucky himself. And so the lieutenant governors. Thank you so much, Timothy. So that is the result of some really deep, um, some really strategic fraud that has been taking place for decades within government. And so I believe that President Trump is cleaning up a lot of that stuff so that we won't have to deal with that anymore. And the whole world will find out that America is conservative. The majority of Americans are conservative. I mean, just think about it for a second, right? Growing up in America, what was the percentage of the LGBTQ when you were growing up, when we were growing up? Let's say in the 80s or in the 90s. What was the percentage of the LGBT versus society in America? It's probably less than 1%. Am I correct? Well, guess what they did? They strategized together and they said, you know what? Let's take over the media. Let's take over Hollywood. Let's take over all of the industries that gets in front of people's faces and gets into people's ears on the radio waves or wherever. Let's get in front of these people and let's just blast them with LGBT stuff so that everybody will just become numb to it. Everybody will just be, weakened by this movement, the LGBT movement. And so that's basically what they did, right? They advertised a lot. They put their stuff in movies and they brainwashed people. That's what they did over the years. I remember I kicked the TV cable out of my house back in I think it was about 2014. We cut the cable to the house because every TV show that we were watching had some kind of homosexual jump up in there for no reason, for absolutely no reason. They didn't need to be there. They just jumped in the film and two men start kissing on each other, and saying, "Hey, this is my boyfriend," like, and there was absolutely no need for it. And so that is what they did over the years. They just kept on, pushing that agenda in front of people's faces till people just become used to it. But it wasn't the norm. There was less than 1% of them back in the day until Obama came and tried to normalize it in society, passing laws for gay marriage, right? And then it got the spotlight. And so a lot of the people who, didn't know whether they were conservative or liberal, they probably some of them voted Democrat. But some of them still don't even know that the Democrat movement is an LGBT cesspool for all kinds of perversions. Some of them don't know that. Some of the older folks don't know. And I've spoken to some older folks who are Democrats, and they have no clue about the the just ungodly things that happen within that Democratic, what they stand for, what they believe in, and what they support. Some of them are Christians, liberals, Democrats, Christians that don't believe in abortion, but they don't really think deep enough to know and to understand that that is the party of evil. And so I believe that President Trump is actually, just like what happened in Wisconsin, where, voter ID is the new law that was passed. You have to bring ID. I believe that this is going to uncover a lot of fraud that has been taking place over the years in our nation. And so that's what I think about that. Any other question? Yes. Yes. I think everything is still like that out there, Tracy. See, that's, yeah, case in point. Your parents have no clue. That's what I'm talking about. Yep, I'm aware of that as well. I'm aware of that as well. All right, so the relationship between President Trump and Putin. Um, Putin runs a nation, um, his nation as a Christian nation, and they are conservatives. Uh, as far as as I stand here, you know, the whole war with Ukraine is very simple, actually. Putin, um, told the United States that if you basically set up, shop in, if NATO set up shop in Ukraine, um, that's it's a bordering country. So he said basically you can't do that, right? It's like the United States putting a base in South Korea on the border. North Korea is going to be very angry, and they're going to, basically take action. And so that's the same thing that NATO is doing to Russia by basically encroaching on what Putin believes is his space that he needs. And Trump knows, he knows all and understands all of that. He has a good relationship with Putin, and I don't really necessarily see Putin as a bad guy. I think he just wants the best for his nation, and and he knows a lot about the corruptions that has been taking place in the Ukraine over the years, by the deep state in the United States of America. And so I think that Trump needs to have a good relationship with Putin. And I don't see any problems with the relationship that they do have. I think it should actually be stronger. Most people like to believe that Russia is our enemy. Well, if they are our enemy, well, you should keep your enemies a little closer. That's a strategy, right? Because you want to know, when they're making a move, you want to understand how they feel about things, about the actions that you take. Yeah, so I think it's a good idea for him to have a good relationship with Putin, and I hope I answered your question. Yes. Are you saying that the church encourages this lifestyle, there, Timothy? Yeah. So Putin won't allow a Federal Reserve Bank in his country and won't legitimize homosexuality because the Federal Reserve Bank is private entities. They're privately owned, um, and I don't want to talk about who they're owned by, but uh, everybody will soon figure it out. Some people know. Yes, Tracy, I believe that. So Greenland, very interesting. Greenland, just above Canada. The country actually, the people want to be a part of the United States of America. Um, there was somebody that said a couple of days ago that Canada has two territories, right? The Northwest Territories, and I believe it's the Southwest Territories in Canada. And the reason why they're not provinces is because they are territories that are up for grabs, just like Alaska was at some point. Um, and so President Trump can, uh, for some reason, he can take over those territories, and also, which would, give him an inroads to also take over Canada. Um, with regards to Greenland, uh, there's a lot of people in Greenland, from what I understand, that would, even in the leadership, that would love to be a part of the United States of America. And I think that's a great idea. Canada, not so much, but if we do take over Canada, I wouldn't like for Canada to have any vote or any Senate or Congress. Um, people that, because you'd have to give them like 20 something senators or something like that. That's not a good idea. Imagine having 20 something liberal senators uh, added to the mix. You could forget it. Now, there are conservatives in Canada, but they don't see things that they don't see the things the way that Americans see it. They don't, even the average Canadian does not even believe in the right to bear arms, right? So they're just a different bunch of people, folks. So, taking over Canada is not as hot as some people might think. Would not be a good idea. Friends in Germany. Okay, so friends in Germany and Ireland are being told by the governments to prepare for war with with the U.S. There are probably some liberals. That just sounds like some liberals, you know, carrying on because they hate Trump. That's probably what it is. Yeah. What do you suggest I say to my Canadian friends I met here in my community in Florida who are freaking out about tariffs and the ability to come here? Um, you know, I forgot what the challenge. Okay, so the challenge from your friends being able to come to the United States, I believe that they have shortened the time frame that they can come to the United States for. And I also believe that if they do decide to leave Canada, which many of them don't, right? They're called snowbirds, right? They come down in the winter to Florida, and then they go back to Canada in the winter. So it's in the summer. So it's 6 months in US and 6 months in Canada. And I think that some of the immigration laws are changing. And the reason why they're changing is because of Canada. It's not because of President Trump. It's because President Trump is negotiating with Canada, and Canada is trying to play hardball. So any actions from President Trump against Canada, seemingly against Canada, is because he is trying to get them to do the right thing. He's trying to get them to do the right things because um, Canada is upset that we're going to charge the same tariffs as they do to us, and it's insane because a lot of the countries all over the world um, have just been taking advantage of us over the years. And President Trump says enough is enough. You know, you guys grow. It's time to grow up. It's time to, be a man, type of thing, and and own it. Pay your fair share, and that's what he said to, the countries in NATO as well. Pay your fair share. That's basically all it is. Pay your fair share. Stop crying and whining, um, and I do feel sorry for the Canadians who come across to the U.S. because they love the U.S. They do. They love the U.S. and that's the only reason why they come. They could go to other places, but they just love the U.S. So, but I think that everything will be worked out, Tracy, in a short time. It's not going to be long before things start to shift in their favor. And that kind of hinges as well upon what the Canadian government does, as well. So, all right, well, folks. So, um, I'll be on tomorrow night for Bible study, and we're going to be in the Nehemiah project for probably go another 5 services with it. And we have a brand new series coming up really soon. I'm really excited about, and I'll share that with you guys a little bit later. So tomorrow night I'll be online as well with our Bible study. So tune in tomorrow night online, and we're not in the building tomorrow. And it's going to be fantastic. And so also we'll see you guys on Sunday, right here in Fort Worth, Texas, at 10 a.m. Wanted to mention something to you guys that, if you have been, with me for a few years, and, you have been blessed by this ministry, you've been blessed by, Apostle Dr. J. Caprietta, and Essential Church. Listen, I'd love for you to just, take a moment and pray about it. Pray about sowing seeds into our ministry. Our ministry is growing. It's doing well. People are coming. We're excited for all the people that we have. People are becoming members within our church. And but one of the areas that we would love your support is within the financial side of things. So if you can grab a hold of a seed tonight and sow it into the ministry, your seed will go a long way with our ministry. And I believe that God is going to bless you, for the seed that you have sown as well. So tonight, grab a hold of a seed. We've got over 200 people here. If every one of you sowed, $50, we'll be able to meet the needs of our obligations that we have here on a monthly basis. And so, if you can sow your seed tonight, you can go to our website at www.etribe.org and sow there. It's in the post. The website is in the post. So all you got to do is, I'll put it in the chat for you. You click on here, /give. And we have, I think, 4 different ways for you to be able to sow. So just go ahead and all right, there it is, etribe.org. So go on there, speak a word of blessing over your seed, and then sow it into the kingdom of God. Amen. All right, love you guys with the love of God. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night for Bible study. And so have a blessed Wednesday, a blessed night. I speak Psalms 91 over you, that the Lord will protect you, he will keep you and bless you. And I speak healing and deliverance over you. And that the angels of God will protect you, surround you, and keep you in Jesus' name. All right, love you with the love of God, and thanks for choosing to sow into our ministry, and we'll see you tomorrow night.